Shalom, ye men of Israel, Bayat Shah Dawadah, house of David. I'm going to start off by giving all thanks, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahara Kalkadash. Double honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kalkadash. Yahweh being a true Hebrew name of the Heavenly Father. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, but Yahweh. All right, which means he is to be, to exist. Bahashem in the name. Yahweh Shah, the only begotten Son of the Most High Yahweh, who the world ignorant calls Jesus Christ. But the name will have to be in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shah, which means he saves, he delivers. He is our salvation. Bahashem in the name. Wahar and the Rakha, Spirit, Quadash, Holy, which is the Holy Spirit. I'm going to give double honors to the elder apostle of Great Millstone, who rule well, teach well, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are pushing his truth and sincerity. Great multitude that will be calling upon the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai in prophecy and in truth, love, which is the law, statutes, commandments, and faith to Yahweh Shemel Shai. I am the brother Banal Bond of the Dallas GMS Camp, coming to you again with another lesson, praying that this lesson is edifying. All right, I wanted to do a lesson on this article here. This is about Adi Offerings. It says, are thousands of immigrant children missing in the United States? Which is a big question mark. It says, experts urge greater oversight amid a rise in unaccompanied children at the border. All right, so we see a depiction of, they look like more like teenagers, right, that are being allowed to come across the border unaccompanied by their parents or any adults. We'll go ahead and get into it. It says, as record numbers of migrants continue to enter the United States from Mexico, border authorities are also seeing higher numbers of minors traveling without a legal guardian. It says, in response to the surge in unaccompanied youth, the Biden administration is releasing children to sponsors in an average of 28 days. It says prospective hosts can fill out their paperwork remotely, and caseworkers rarely visit their home. It says officials are required to follow up with the child via a phone call once a month or 1 month later. Goes on to say, here's the stats. Between 2021 and 2022, 85,000 unaccompanied children, 1/3 of the children released to sponsors in the United States, didn't pick up the phone. So the government is unable to account for their whereabouts or welfare. Following a congressional hearing last April, Senator Josh Hawley, Representative, it says Mo, demanded that the FBI locate the missing children. Now, you're going to ask yourself, because they're real lax about this. So people can just walk up and say, I want to sponsor a child, and that child lives with them. No background checks or anything, you see, because they should be able to trace whoever sponsored the child and find out what happened to the child or a teenager, you see. When you consider how much paperwork goes into adopting a small baby or a toddler, right, or a teen, there's a lot of red tape behind that. But look how loose this is, you see, because we have to consider who's doing all these things. Goes on to say that while some immigration and child welfare experts downplay concerns that thousands of children are missing, they agree the Biden administration isn't doing enough to follow up with these vulnerable children and provide them with long-term support as they make their way through the immigration system. And many argue a proposed government regulation will strip these children of even more protection. All right, Sirach 12:10 said what? Never trust thine enemy. You see? And these so-called Hispanics, okay, are children of the Most High. Esau Edom knows who they are. All right, they are the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Issachar, to be more specific. You see? Goes on to say about 365,000 immigrant children have crossed the southern border alone in the past 3 years. And that's a high number. It said more than half of the nearly 750,000 unaccompanied children placed with sponsors since 2012. So it's been going on for a while, because this is what, 2024. says the record numbers of unaccompanied minors reflect a broader border surge. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers took more than 6 million immigrants of all ages into custody between 2021 and 2023. Officials released approximately 2.3 million of them into the United States during that period. 2.3. Said this number does not include hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied children transferred to federal shelters, man. It says while 72% of minors traveling alone are over 14, some are under 5 years old. Jennifer Potko is the vice president for the policy and advocacy at Kids Need of Defense, which provides lawyers to unaccompanied children. She said older children sometimes leave their countries to avoid being pressured by gangs, which often retaliate against families if young people refuse to join them. Some leave in hopes of finding a job in the United States. Others arrive alone after losing their parents along the way. In some cases, parents or relatives send their children ahead in hopes that they have a better chance of getting across the border. See, that's your so-called Hispanic trusting upon your oppressor, not knowing who he is, you see. As it says in Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. They have no clue that they're falling into the hands of the oppressor, man. So that's all I wanted on that article. All right, we'll read this quick article real quick. Now, this one is titled, U.S. Authorities Lose 30,000 Migrant Children. We'll get through this pretty quick. It says, a recent audit by the Department of Homeland Security Office of Inspector General uncovered that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE or ICE, failed to monitor over 30,000 unaccompanied migrant children after their release from government custody. It said ICE has no assurance the unaccompanied migrant children are safe from trafficking, exploitation, or forced labor. Inspector General Joseph Coffey report warned. It says the audit shows that between 2019 and 2023, ICE transferred over 448,000 unaccompanied children to the Department of Health and Human Services. It said the agency struggled to monitor whereabouts of many of these children after their release from HHS custody. It said more than 32,000 children failed to appear for scheduled immigration court hearings in the period, and ICE couldn't account for their location. It said the report also states that the number of missing children could be higher due to ICE failure to serve notices to appear on 291,000 children, leaving them without scheduled court dates and outside the formal immigration process. So it's no telling what happened to these children, man. All right? They could have ran off, but it's the United States or the Biden administration's responsibility to keep track. It's almost like they come and they disappear. Now, where they go? They said it here. Some may fall to what? Child trafficking. What does it say? Exploitation. Okay. And forced labor. You see? Let's see. What else do we want from this? It says illegal immigration has long been high on the list of important issues in the United States. Coping with the huge number of people crossing the U.S. border, particularly in the South, is one of the hottest topics for voters ahead of the 2024 presidential election. All right. So where are these kids going, man? That's the million-dollar question. All right. We can't just say that they just walked off and disappeared. No. You know, just like the American system, someone has to be held accountable, man. Again, that's why it says in Sirach 12:16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. Let's go ahead and get this, because that's what they do, man. They'll promise these kids that, yeah, you're going to get your citizenship. You're going to be able to do this or do that, right? And what do the kids do? A lot of them just disappear. Again, I'm not going to make any assumption as to where they go or what happens to them. But you can imagine, because the ages range from 5 all the way to, what, 17, 18, they're teenagers. This article says, all right, it mirrors the other article. It says a new Department of Homeland Security, DHS, report argues that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, ICE, cannot account for unaccompanied immigrant children at the border. On August 19, the DHS published a 14-page report revealing more than 32,000 unaccompanied children did not attend the immigration hearing between the fiscal year 2019-2023. It said, what's more, nearly 300,000 of these kids that came across the southern border alone never even got a court date whatsoever. Now, why would they get a court date? You want to assure that these kids are monitored, okay? So due process, whether that due process resembles them getting some form of a temporary citizenship, all right, to blend in at some point to be able to get a citizenship. You would think that that's the purpose. Otherwise, why are you allowing these children to come across and get... Let's go ahead and hit up the scriptures, man, because, this devil here is just, he's being revealed. Of course, they'll allow these children in, and then later on they say, okay, we lost the children. All right, now we're going to put up a special committee that's going to be able to find these children and make sure that they're okay. No. Again, the question is, where do these children go? All right, so let's get to KJV, and we'll hit up Sirach 12 and 10, because it boils down to not trusting your enemy. It said, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So he'll humble himself to the point where you think he's going to help you. Okay? Again, there's many questions as to where are this large number of children going from an age of 5 on up. It said, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. For thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass. Thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. This is the oppressor, okay, of thine brethren, as it says in Revelation 12:10. He knows who you are. You don't know that this devil is out for blood. You see? Sirach 13 and 4 says what? We'll start at 3. Say, the rich man has done wrong. So, Scripture says what? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. We know who's ruling. Who is that rich man? Because power reflects richness as well. All right? It says the rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threatened withal. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. It says, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. So we know children are being exploited here in the United States for various things, which is child labor, sex trafficking, okay, sacrifice, if you will. It says, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. So these children get sponsors, people that just randomly come up and say, hey, I'll take this child, or I'll take that child. Is there a background check on these people? Again, they do a thorough background check when you're adopting a child. But when it comes to these, these immigrant teenagers, children that's coming across the border, it seems like it's real loose. 6 says, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. So whether he's promising these children that they'll get their citizenship or they'll get some form of a temporary status so they can work and go to school, get an education, whether their hopes is to bring their parents here or they don't have any parents, all right, he's going to make you feel like he's for your cause. You see? It says, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? You see? As it says in Psalms 55:21, says what? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So he has something in for you, man. You see? But these people, which it says in Deuteronomy, all right, 28:64, it says that we will go to him for the one of all things. All right, let me see if it's 64, 48. All right, it's 48. Deuteronomy 28:48 said, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee, and in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness, And in one of all things he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And this is going into the curses, all right, which is still in existence today. We go to Esau Edom, the ruler of this time, this aeon, for the one of all things. Because we don't grow our crops, man. Even if you grow your own crop, you have to go buy the seeds from them. And a lot of these seeds have GMO, man. So you have, these so-called Hispanics that come across the border, all right, and they need Esau Edom for the one of all things, shelter, clothes, food. And again, that's part of the curses, man. And knowledge, okay, will let you know, and it starts with the fear of Yahweh Shema Shah, that you are in the land of your oppressor. There's a king of this kingdom that is against you. That's why Sirach 13:13 said what? Observe and take heed. Let's go ahead and get that. It said, observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. So he is not for your cause. He is over you as an oppressor. This is a captivity. So he wouldn't be for your cause. All right. So if he does bring you across the border, and look at that outstanding number of immigrants that are children that are crossing the border without an adult or their parent. Something's up with that, man. It's observe and take heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing when thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. Because this is a nightmare, man. All right? Awake to this knowledge that, hey, Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is actually trying to hurt me. Is trying to kill me. He's not going to do me any good. You see? Sirach 12:16 says what? An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. He has to win your confidence. He's going to tell you that he's going to do everything he can, right, within his power to make sure that you have a better life. He gives you, turns you over to your sponsor. You have no idea who this person is or what they're going to do, right? What kind of background do they do? Because why should these children get lost in the mix of America? An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagines how to throw thee into a pit. We just the precept to that was Psalm 55:21. His words were in his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. All right. It said he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. So now the Biden administration, the government is talking about setting up agencies to, make sure that it doesn't happen again or to find these children, but they have no trace of where these children went. How convenient, right? You have no idea where these children went. Have they been sold to sex trafficking, child labor? You have no clue. As ICE is saying, we have no clue how we can trace you. What, shouldn't it start with the sponsors? All right. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. He's saying that, okay, we're going to find these children. We're going to set up a administration, an office that's going to locate these children. And those are just words to just to make you say, okay, at least they're doing something about it. And say, though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And that's what this devil does. His words are smoother than butter, man. Ephesians 5:15 says what? We should be circumspect. So as we get into these scriptures and we see what's going on around the world, we know that these are the last minutes, all right, of the last hour, man, that things are starting to wax worse. As it says, and it said what? The love of many shall wax worse. So what are they doing to these children? So Ephesians 5:15 says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. So these children are coming over here, man. They have no parental guidance. They are in fear. And that's the way Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, right, takes advantage of them, man. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Redeeming the time because the days are evil, man. These times are evil. Things are starting to wax worse. You see? Again, the whereabouts of these children is a big question mark. Because you can't go back to, the source, ICE, to find out, okay, if their sponsor was responsible, okay, there should be a curfew. They really shouldn't be going too many places without their sponsor. They don't know this place. You see? So, yeah, because this devil will lie to you, and you'll say, okay, give him a chance to find these children. All right? But he is a liar, man. He is a liar, and he's set up to deceive. Psalm 58:3, we'll go ahead and get that. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So can you trust this devil? Can you truly trust this devil for all the nonsense that he's doing, man? No. Because he's set up to be the wicked. And what he's doing is what he's set up to do, to be wicked. But we do lessons, shining light in this dark kingdom of Esau, Edom, all right, to expose those things that he's been doing for quite some time. Now he's being revealed as the son of the wicked, man, the son of perdition. This is Psalms 52:2. We'll end off on it. Say, thy tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou loveth evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Thou loveth all divine words, O thou deceitful tongue. It says, Yahweh shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living. So this is what will happen to Esau, Edom. All right, for all the wickedness that be done thereof. Okay, and that's what we're waiting. That's what we're rejoicing and crying and sighing to Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're putting curses upon Babylon, aka America, daily, man, several times a day if you can, because this wickedness is far exceeded, that threshold, man. So when you have children in that large number, 30,000, all right, close to 300,000 children that are unaccounted for. There's questions, man. There's questions, but all things are going to be revealed in the end by Yahweh Shemel Shai. The light is still shining in dark places, and Esau Edom's time is up. All right, as it says in Revelation 12:12, he knows that he has but a short while. All right, then his kingdom shall end through the hands of Yahweh Shemel Shai and his prophets. All right. Kwam Yasharala, and Abba Bar Babylon, Shalom Israel, Bayat Shah Dawadah, House of David.